at the Airbus Museum officially walking in. I think a lot of people are coming here for the 440 or the 430. Sorry if you can't hear me, but believe it or not, I'm actually here for the 740. So I think it's all good. It'll work out. And seeing this for the second time, I can't wait. All right, y'all, take care. Really would have been here earlier, but I did not want to spend $15 for parking. I wanted to not have to worry about it, so that's the reason why I'm a little late, but we're in the first line stretch, so it's not that bad. But I would have been here earlier, but at $15, man, couldn't do it. So stay tuned tonight for the spoiler review, and I'll keep it locked. Later, y'all. Oh, here you go. Well, almost there, y'all.
Security! They will come get you. Oh, yeah. No, you ain't going nowhere.
Second time around, just as beautiful as the first time. But if you're gonna watch it, please look at it or something like this. As big as you possibly can. Oh gosh. I'm in love all over again. Later, y'all.
YouTube. What's up out there, YouTubers?
It's that time, y'all. This is SCL0320.
It's your boy Joe Johncino 030.
Johncino?
Johncino. Like
Really? Oh my
Johncino.
God. We represent JVS, so we are finally back to give y'all the spoiler-filled review for the biggest, baddest movie this year, Star Wars The Force Awakens. It was amazing. Yeah. We both gave it equally 10 out of 10 with our non-spoiler review. The movie actually hit, on as of Thursday, 57 million. One of the biggest opening days ever. It's set to probably get to at least 270 million for the weekend. Either way, this was an amazing spectacle of a movie on different levels. Amazing set designs, amazing imagery, great acting, great actors. It gave us everything we wanted in a Star Wars film and more.
Definitely.
But we're not doing the non-spoiler, we're doing full spoiler. So listen to me. If you've not seen the film,
if you have not seen it,
do not watch this.
Don't watch this.
Don't watch. What we're about to do, matter of fact, I'm going to create a black space right here so y'all know, y'all hear us audibly, but do not watch this if you've not seen the movie yet. You don't need to be spoiled. Like, I know there's a lot of people out there that's fine with being spoiled, but I promise you, you will do yourself a disservice by not.
You will do yourself a disservice.
So after this point, it's full spoilers.
Alright, you're that guy.
We're talking to you. We're talking to you.
Yeah.
But
stop watching.
So, first spoiler of the night. We're gonna dissect characters Finn and Rey. How about that? So, Finn is a stormtrooper. Stormtrooper that one of his first missions that he was on, he witnesses them just slaughtering like a whole village and a group of people. That Poe Dameron, which was an amazing pilot, an awesome character. He gets sent out by Leia on a mission to try to go to a specific location to get something. And unbeknownst to him, there's this random stormtrooper that is kind of like conflicted. Matter of fact, like one of his teammates is like dead and the blood splashes on his helmet. And after that point, it was like he was beyond himself. It was like he was frantically anxiety-ridden. It was almost like he was dealing with acute trauma. And what the funny thing about that is that the sequence, at a certain point, Kylo Ren looks at him to the left and then walks back on his ship. I thought that was so interesting. That's one of the things I'm going to bring up in my theory. But from that point on, he meets up with the character Rey. He helps Poe Dameron escape. He narrowly gets out of every situation, and he's an amazing shot. Matter of fact, most of the time when he's in the seat where you actually have the turret, he does an amazing job. As well as any kind of gun, he's good at it because he's a stormtrooper. But for whatever reason, the lightsaber ends up in his hand. And for me, thinking about his character, I want to bring up a point that, like, when he finally does have the fight sequence with Kylo Ren at the end. Kylo Ren is seriously injured at that point. But even up until that point, it was like, I feel like there's a levitation to the Force and the connection with him. It's like every person he interacts with, every situation that comes with him, he's always there. It's like he's a vessel of light to some capacity. Joe has a theory about him. I don't know if you actually want to talk about it.
No.
But for me,
it's in the developing stages. So
but
I don't have evidence, but I have hunches.
But for me, witnessing that lightsaber battle, like, he was doing a really good job. Because the first time he wielded a lightsaber, there was this random stormtrooper. He had like this kind of baton that had like a shock on it, and he was defending himself pretty well. But it was like, you know, he got knocked out pretty bad. And at a certain point, like when it was all said and done, when Rey got knocked down and he was forced to wield the lightsaber against Kylo Ren was giving him that business. Like, this dude was like moving that lightsaber like it wasn't nothing, but he was injured. And like Rey did enough to actually injure him. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, this is a stormtrooper. How does a stormtrooper, one, end up with Luke's sword, you know, first before Rey, and then two, like, what is his connection with the Force? Because it's evident. Like, even Kylo Ren, when he's around him, it's almost like he noticed something even before it happened. And I thought that was a really interesting precept. But I'm going to let Joe talk about Rey, because her character is the biggest mystery out of this whole entire movie.
Yeah.
Because we find out early on that Kylo Ren's his parents are. Which we'll go into that in a second, but you want to talk about Rey real briefly?
Yeah, I mean, so her kind of like introduction. So she's on the planet Jadu, this desert planet.
Oh, Jakku.
Jakku, this desert planet with basically she's out there by herself, and you figure out you don't know who her parents are, but you know, and throughout the movie, like, it's revealed that whoever was her guardian like left, but you don't know why, you don't know who they were, but you just see a ship leaving the planet. And
oh, we're talking about her vision.
Yeah.
Well, no, I want to touch on that vision though, because the whole part about Poe trying to get to the planet was to try to find this piece to try to get this connection with Luke, because he had a map, but it was an incomplete map, and he knew he needed the next thing to, you know, tie everything together. And then it reveals to Rey after Finn leaves out of like this fear. Finn had a lot of fear. He didn't want to go back to the New Order, and I mean, rightfully so. But after he left, it was like, to me, it felt like Rey felt this feeling of abandonment, and I felt like it was a direct connection with her past, because all I could hear is a young girl crying, and I thought it was her. And she gets down the stairs and goes to the left. BB-8 is so cute. He's following her the whole way. She gets to the chest. As soon as she touches that thing, you see her literally what it seems to be like visions of the past, the present, and eventually the future, because of the way it ended. Because the way it ended with the movie is her on this planet, it was wet with green staircase, and I was like, this is foreshadowing of something that's coming. But there was a flashback when she was really young, and the guy that was really kind of getting money from her and stuff like that is the one that kind of grabbed her away. But then there's a ship that leaves, and you don't know whose ship it really is. I thought that whole sequence was amazing because it showcased her having a Force vision, and it all started when she touched the lightsaber. You notice that? Like, she inherently had like instincts when it came to flying the Millennium Falcon, which was amazing, by the way. But when she touched the lightsaber, that was when she got something like else. I don't know, but I'll let you go ahead with that. I just wanted to touch on that for a second.
Yeah, so find out she's like what's up going with this? So she, you know, it gets revealed that she was kind of like abandoned. Not abandoned, but left behind. Well, same thing. But anyway, she found out she's been left behind by whoever her guardian was. And after she finds the lightsaber, she kind of runs from it for a little bit, and then she ends up being taken by dude, what's his name, Kylo and yeah, on this ship, like she's her whole character, man, and she's at this point, Kylo Ren, he has the ability to, you found out he has the ability to like pretty much get in people's minds, find out information, read their minds and things like that. She's actually resisting him while he's trying to perform like this like mind reading process, which is crazy. This is the first time we like see her actually tap into the Force.
Yeah.
And you know, and for her to actually resist him to this level, because I mean, Kylo Ren, he's been doing this for a while. He's been trained, and it seems like he's been doing this for a while. So for her to actually resist him at this point with no training is just like, whoa. And she actually says something about him. She actually gets in his mind a little bit.
That's the thing.
And she's like, you're scared that you won't be as powerful as Vader. And she, like, the dude just like backed up. And I mean, she's definitely a force to be reckoned with. She's a force to be reckoned with, like, seriously, because like Kylo Ren, he's gonna go through training, but at the same time, he's already been through a form of training, and she beat him.
Oh, you didn't talk about the lightsaber battle. I guess we'll go into that in a second.
But I mean, yeah, there's a lightsaber battle at the end, and I mean, she beats him. That's just to say, and even in the fight, she's tapping into the Force. Like, there's a moment where she actually taps into the Force, and it's a really cool moment. But that whole thing just shows you, man, she's a natural. She's a natural, and she's just going in and just like, she's very powerful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She has so much untapped power, it's just ridiculous.
That's the thing with her that is the biggest mystery for me. When I saw her, when she first, and I went over this with Joe, when she first shows up, you know, you see her in her mask guard and everything, and her first interaction with Finn, she's lunging at this dude in anger and about to attack him. But she had just fended off herself easily with her staff, trying to protect BB-8. But it's like every subtle moment, you see her defending herself or getting angry, and she taps into the Force in a certain capacity. Like when Kylo Ren was trying to read her, she turned it back on him. When she saw Finn hurt, and he just mentioned something that had happened about, there was a character that they had met when Han brought him to that location, and she was going over the aspect of the Force and how it's all around her. She remembered it, and she turned it back on him. To me, when he was interrogating her, it wasn't just that he was afraid of not being, you know, as good as Darth Vader. He's afraid of being as good as her. And like, to me, she has a capacity for the dark side. Only reason why I say that is because she's so much of a natural, that she has this edge. If she loses everything, if she loses Finn, for instance, if she had lost Finn, or if something else happens detrimental, and she finds out about the dark side, she could easily go that route. And I think that that's the most intriguing part about her character. And I'm gonna go into Kylo Ren in a second, but like,
I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's a good point too, because and it's kind of goes twofold, because on her case, like when she had that vision, that flashback, like, and it was kind of like Anakin Skywalker, where all he saw was like painful situations. You know what I'm saying? And like that whole thing reminded her like her past and her pain. Like that whole vision was pretty much all just like sorrow, and then it made her run from it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
but it all started when Finn left her.
Right.
Because like the whole entire time, I mean, she just really wanted to go home, but it was like she wanted to get it complete, but she needed Finn. And that's what I love about their relationship. Like, Finn the whole entire time, like, he has this need to either hold her hand or make her laugh or ask her, is she okay? Like, they have a real friendship. And it's evident, yeah, there's feelings there, but they don't like try to force it. It's a natural progression. And I love that about every single time when they have dialogue together, they have amazing chemistry, but it works in a certain kind of way. But we got to talk about Kylo Ren before we talk about his actions of what he basically has changed the scope of Star Wars franchise forever in the actions that he's done, as well as who he is. Because Kylo Ren is, to me, worse than what a Sith could be. Because a Sith is focused on absolution, and at the same time has this need to be able to destroy. He is conflicted. This is what his temptation is. He's tempted by the light. Like, he is tempted by the light side of the Force. He inherently wants and needs to be a part of the dark side because he's been manipulated and changed over by Snoke. But it's like every single moment, Adam Driver, you see him without his mask, you see his vulnerability. And that's the thing that I love about it. Like, he gets emotionally mad when stuff happens. And you see the danger side. Like, when he saw with Poe for the first time, Poe Dameron, he kind of has him try to purge stuff out of him. He relishes in those moments. But then he kind of falls back because there was a moment where he was like looking at Darth Vader's head. He's like, I need you to show me the darkness because I'm losing my edge. I was like, this is the most twisted character that I've seen in years. And it's beautiful symmetry because he is well trained and he is dangerous and he is evil. But he's being tempted to be good. And he is the son of Leia and Han Solo. And this is all going to be a segue into the biggest spoiler of everything, because he is trying to keep and maintain his darkness, but he knows that his true connection with that is his family. That no matter what, he can't escape being a Skywalker. No more he can escape being a Solo. And he's trying to find absolution, which the Sith would do, but he can't. It's like there's a connection. And so it all falls down to him meeting up with his dad one last time. And basically he kind of told his dad, he's like, I'm struggling with this, and I don't know if I can do what I have to do to get rid of it. I think Snoke had even told him, he's like, yeah, you've never dealt with a trial like this before because Han Solo is your father. Like, how you got to deal with this is a whole different way. And it was like, for a second, he was willing to take his mask off and dump it on the ground, give his dad's lightsaber. But one of the things that I loved about this movie is when you find out this planet basically they formed kind of like a major Death Star that shoots out and it can shoot multiple planets at will. It's charged by the sun. And there's a countdown because they're about to shoot it into the remaining rebel base where Leia is at. And they said, basically Poe said, just as long as we stay in the light, we're good. And eventually the star diminishes. And at that moment, which is a beautiful sequence, like when he's about to give his lightsaber over to his dad, he stops himself. And he's holding it, he's glitching it. And instead he turns the sword on his dad, killing Han Solo. And it's an emotional sequence because you hear Chewie yell out in anger and in pain, and it's like you see Leia just drop to her knees in pain because she feels it. And it was one of the most emotional moments. It was more emotional than even when Finn was going up against Kylo Ren, because that whole fight sequence was awesome because, I mean, they held each other, they held their own in certain regards, but Finn got hurt really bad. Like, he got the tail end of the stick, he got his back cut up, and like he was on the ground. But it was like that moment when Han Solo got killed, like everybody in the theater just was like, man, I didn't see it coming, but I knew it had to happen. I just didn't know it was gonna happen in this one. What's your takeaway of what Kylo Ren is, as far as your perspective on him? Because I haven't seen anything like him before.
Yeah, definitely not in series anyway. Yeah, like I've never seen you know what I'm saying, a Jedi be like kind of, or like even like someone on the dark side be tempted by them becoming light. Like that's to me that was crazy. But I mean his character is definitely interesting. There's one part where one of the soldiers like bring him bad news, and I was like, this guy's gonna die. I was like.
No.
Is gonna kill him.
No. See, that's the thing about the theory that we're talking about.
And like, but he doesn't. He brings him bad news, telling him what's going on, and he was like, it's like the droid. We couldn't capture him. He was assisted. He was aided by pretty much FN1 something. Pretty much Finn. And he was just like, he started like, you thought he was just gonna kill the soldier, like pretty much you're gonna put like a Vader. But he starts like, he pulls out his lightsaber, starts like cutting the walls, cutting like the
he slices everything up.
Yeah, he cuts like all the like computer instruments up, and then he was like, "All right, dude, is there anything else you want to tell me?" And then the dude was like, "Yeah, a girl helped him." And
he
that
lost
set
it.
him off.
He lost
like,
it.
I was just like,
he picked this man up, pulled him to him, and I was like, yeah, this dude's done.
you know, like I was just like. You know what I'm saying? He takes out his anger on and out of the objects at first, and then turns it towards the soldier. Like I was
he's
just like,
conflicted.
Yeah, because I was like, this dude is so wild.
And that's what makes him so scary, though.
Yeah, because I mean, he's definitely, you know, like with that, you definitely see he's immature. It definitely shows his immaturity, like a kid throwing a tantrum or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's striving for power. But at the same time, he really doesn't know how to handle it. You know?
Yeah.
He doesn't really know what he's asking, in a sense.
Yeah. Ooh, that's deep. That's deep.
So, yeah.
So we don't want to go and tell y'all the whole movie, but my honorable mentions. I mentioned like a couple people that I thought were awesome sequences. I think that Hux, the guy that plays Hux, what is his name? Because he was in the movie Ex Machina. What is his name? Oh my gosh, because he did an amazing job. Oh, Domhnall Gleeson, General Hux. There's this sequence where he did this speech right before they're about to blow up multiple planets. That like I was like, this dude's got more of a handle on the dark side than than freaking Kylo Ren. Because I was sitting there listening to him, I was like, this dude is driven, he's angry, and he's blindly that. It doesn't matter to him. Like, he's like, yeah, let's destroy everything. And it was just like the sequence and the way he shot it, it was well acted, it was well executed. He did it through his eyes. I thought it was perfect execution. But then you got to talk about your love for Poe Dameron, like just in a short, brief excerpt. But I loved him. What was your thoughts on Poe?
Oh man, he was awesome. Awesome to watch. Awesome character. I mean, he's the best pilot.
Aside from Darth Vader.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, he was putting in a lot of work, very entertaining to watch. I mean, and then even, yeah, he was giving the stormtroopers the work. Like, yeah, I mean, he was cool, very heroic, never intimidated. He's that guy.
Yeah. So I really like this character. I mean, the thing about this movie, there's a lot of hidden characters and a lot of hidden actors in this one that you wouldn't expect. Simon Pegg makes a point in this one. Daniel Craig was when Rey finally understood her powers and she was trying to force manipulate somebody for the first time and she gets them. That was Daniel Craig that was in that Stormtrooper outfit. It was just so awesome to actually find that out later on. Greg Gundenberg, he was in the Heroes series, first season and the newer one, but he was one of the fighter pilots who was working with Oscar Isaac as Poe. So, I mean, all around, like, we've dissected most of the things, but the biggest thing that nobody has said is about Luke. And the reason why is because he's only in it for a few seconds at the very end of the movie, which is beautiful symmetry because the whole point of everything surrounded trying to find Luke. That's why everybody, because it was like, the balance in the Force was messed up because basically Luke had tried to have a new age of Jedi created, and one young Padawan, which was Han Solo's son, basically lost it and killed him. But he was seduced by the dark side from Snoke. And I think that Andy Serkis is playing Snoke, but I don't know that they're utilizing him as much as they could just yet, because he was only in hologram form. Like, the dude was like this tall, and I was like, what the heck? And then you find out it's just a hologram. So we don't really know proportionally how tall he really is, nor do we know how everything fits in with it. The guys from the raid were in this movie, and they were underused. Like that whole sequence where that thing was kind of like going through, I was like, come on, dude, like give them something, the kung fu or something, dang. But either way, like I said, that end sequence where they finally have Luke and Rey has basically won. Han's died. She brought Luke his lightsaber, and Luke turns and he looks at her, and I was like, all I could see was emotion in Mark Hamill's eyes, and I was like,
oh yeah, it was so awesome.
Why is he emoting like that? It's not just because he has the lightsaber back and he doesn't want it. It's something else there. And the speculation with everybody is that this girl is either one, his daughter, which in a 30-year gap, that's very possible. Two, that she's basically the twin sister to Kylo Ren, which, I mean, to be fair, Han is really vague when he's around her. Like, it was almost like they're kind of kindred spirits in a lot of different ways. She was the first person to actually pilot the Millennium Falcon in years, and does it well. She works with Chewie very well. So it was like every single time that there's moments where you don't really know who her backstory is, but it was like that one sequence when he's looking at her, I was like, what is going on there? And then it just quits like that, and I love that. But it's like, I feel like there's such mystery behind Finn and what his origin is. Who are the parents that he had that he was stolen from? Joe thinks it's Mace Windu.
Nah, man, don't put that out.
What? That's what you said.
Wow, man, you like putting me on blast.
What do you mean? That's what you said.
Relish in this moment.
Well, I thought it was Luke's son, but you know what? It don't matter. But either way,
It might have been.
it's just great that there's so many mysteries and questions, and we don't want to dissect the whole entire movie for you. There are a lot of things that kind of fall back in this one, but all around, I had an amazing time. And if you get the chance to check it out in IMAX 3D, the best experience you can have is trying to go to like Smithsonian Museum or a museum that has an IMAX with it. You will never see anything like it. Like, we were looking at those flight sequences. It was literally like unlike anything I've ever seen before. It was amazing. So hopefully you enjoyed this spoiler review. Again, we gave it a 10 out of 10. You got any other final thoughts, Joe? Well, it's been an amazing Star Wars week. I'm gonna go for round 2 on Sunday.
Round 3.
Round 3. I'm sorry. Right now, I'm about to retire. Y'all have a blessed night. This is JVS SEL 0320. Joe Johnson 030. We out. Be blessed.